Chapter 7 The Break-In. Benny. Will's voice comes over the comms. Okay, then go! Benny hits a button on his deck, mapped to a series of commands he has programmed in. He knows exactly what will happen. First, his routines will take over the environmental controls, making the system think there is an environmental emergency. Then, a system of viruses takes over the guard systems, killing all the sensors while plunging them into an unending feedback loop. Even though there aren't sensors in the vaults to monitor what's going on, there are standard safety sensors which can, luckily, be tricked into thinking there's someone trapped in each vault, and that the oxygen is leaving those vaults. This triggers the doors to every vault, snapping them open. Despite the anti-intrusion and privacy setup, the creators of this station either forgot to eliminate these safety protocols, or hedged their bets, deciding that clients dying in one of their vaults wouldn't be good press. Killing the main power is even easier. Those systems are protected, but not well, so killing the lights is easy. Putting the life support into a forced reboot interrupts that for at least a few minutes, more if he can keep on interrupting the system. That's only part of the problem, though. The easiest part. The 4 guards are all in self-powered armor, which will have night vision and advanced sensors. The light being out won't do much to them. They'll still see Will and Maxim if they try anything. Not good. The solution took as much doing, more maybe, as the hacking of the environmental controls. Benny had found buried deep in the guard kiosk protocols a data link to all active guards. This link was intended to allow the guards to all share data with the kiosk, including sensor feeds and so forth, allowing the station's computer to monitor input from each guard as they patrol, compiling the data into an accurate picture of the station overall. It is all the crack in the armor Benny needs. He rapidly executes another set of routines that make quick work of the weak firewall protecting the data pathway to the guards' uniforms, and then he's in. He immediately accesses all 4 guards' armor, specifically their helmet systems. He'd simply lock their whole suit down, paralyzing them if that wasn't too obvious. So instead, he's going to crash their helmets. They won't die, their life support systems will still be active, but the rest of their armor will be effectively dead temporarily. Without warning, up in the reception area, the guards' helmet systems go dark. No comms, no feeds, and, to make sure they don't take them off, the guard kiosk tells the armor that a deadly airborne pathogen has been detected, so the suits seal up tightly, switching to internal life support. The guards are now blind, deaf, and locked inside their armor. Benny can imagine all 4 guards immediately reaching for their helmets, trying to disengage the locking mechanisms in the collars. Go! Benny yells into the comms unit. With part 1 done, he focuses on the harder part, erasing all evidence of this ever happening. Harder by far than Phase 1. Phase 2 is something he rarely has to worry about. He's always been able to hide his identity when hacking a system, but never bothered to erase the evidence of his trespass. Who cares if the victims know they've been hacked? Maybe next time they'll be more prepared. This time, however, it has to be as if none of this has happened, with only the guards' word to go on if the computers don't back it up. The guards won't want to lose their jobs and likely either won't ever report this, or if they do, they'll withdraw their report when they find out there's no actual evidence of the incident. Benny, you almost ready? Will asks, amid a lot of grunting from someone on comms. Benny hasn't been paying attention. Almost. Give me a tick. He's typing furiously. It's a good thing this whole covering your tracks thing isn't something he usually worries about, or he'd have found a different vocation a long time ago. Okay, I'm ready when you are. Everything will come back online together, so be ready, he warns. Do it, Will orders. Benny hits a command on his deck, and every system he's captured is released. Quickly, subroutines he's embedded begin to erase logs, overwrite data, and do whatever else is needed to remove any evidence of his presence in the system, before deleting themselves too. He has to hurry, since Will and the crew will be returning shortly, possibly with company. Finding him sitting there in the docking area would blow the whole operation. He's busy erasing files and pulling back his routines when he sees the guards start to access systems. They're looking for an explanation. Suckers, he snickers while finishing up. As a precaution, he made sure to clean up the armor and the guard kiosk first, knowing that'd be where the guards would look first. The guards will no doubt ask the computers in their armor for a status report and be confused when the armor reports nothing anomalous. But what's happened up there? Did they manage to get the goods? Okay, that's it, he says over the comms, beginning to power down his deck. He starts unplugging his data taps. Unfortunately, if anyone looks too hard, they'll see the ends of the jack clamps that fuse to the conduits. They'd have to be in tear the station apart mode, though, and without a single shred of evidence to back up the guard's story, there's no reason to think that'd happen. Benny slides the grate closed and hears the faint tone the lift makes. The doors are about to open. He grabs his deck and scurries as fast as he can to the airlock, turning the corner of the boarding corridor just as the lift doors open. The break-in. Zephyr. Suddenly, Will's voice comes in on comms. Okay, then, go! The entire reception area is plunged into darkness. Zephyr's armored switches to a combination of enhanced night vision with LiDAR overlay. As the low rumble of the station's life support fades, to ensure she isn't detected, her armor has been on internal life support mode from the start. No sense letting the station's computer detect extra CO2. The door right in front of her snaps open. Zephyr doesn't wait. She races in as Benny's voice yells over the comms, "Go!" The vault is larger than she expected, packed with crates of various sizes and a few statues and other knickknacks. The crime boss or crooked politician is doing well for themselves. This is all the stuff they don't want anyone knowing about. Then they must have much, much more than is publicly viewable. She sighs and gets to work, moving from crate to crate, scanning for the isotope. She's thankful that stealth isn't an issue right now. She's able to move quickly and somewhat loudly from crate to crate. "I'm in and scanning," she reports. "There's more than I expected, going as fast as I can." "You can move as slow as you like. The guards are deaf and blind right now," Benny says. She shakes her head, choosing not to reply to such an obvious comment. "Which vault?" Will asks over the comms. "We'll get in position." "Fifth from the top of the stairs to the right," she answers. Thankfully, whoever owns this vault is organized. No crates blocking other crates, very few stacked more than 2 high, nothing likely to topple if touched. Zephyr moves in a methodical search pattern, passing her scanner over each crate looking for a trace of that isotope. If time weren't an issue, she'd love to look around a bit more. This vault is a true treasure trove. There's a solid platinum statue of some noble figure from the past, at least 3 meters tall. In the corner is what looks like a sarcophagus holding who knows what or whom. In another corner on a set of shelving that reaches to the ceiling are stacks and stacks of ingots, all arranged by type of metal and lashed together in sets. Beep. "Found it," she reports to the team. It's a crate about half as big as the one Will and Maxim brought in, which is good. She moves to open it. "Dren, the crate's locked." "Gonna have to take the whole thing. Can you carry it?" Will asks. She grabs both sides and lifts. It's heavy, but her armor can handle the strain, at least for a bit. "Yes, coming to you," she huffs. She's careful not to drag the crate. Moving it isn't easy, and she wouldn't be able to without the strength augmentation her armor provides. Leaving drag marks would be a clear piece of evidence for the owner whenever they eventually realize they've been robbed. Right below her are Will and Maxim and their crate. She slowly makes her way to the vault door and the railing beyond. "Drop it," Will calls over the comms. "Max will catch it." The two talk, then Maxim comes back on. "Okay, Zephyr, I'm ready." She lets the crate slide over the edge. The break-in. Will. As Will and Maxim get to the door, the helpful guard is about 20 steps behind them, watching. "Okay, then go." No sooner has Will sub-vocalized the words, "Do the lights go out?" Every single one of them. The rumble of life support systems dies off, and every single vault door snaps open. Then Benny's voice on the comms. "Go!" Will and Maxim both grab night vision goggles from pockets in their outfits. Maxim sets about opening the crate they've been moving around the whole time. It's empty inside. Over the comms, Zephyr reports, "I'm in and scanning. There's more than I expected. Going as fast as I can." "You can go as fast as you like. The guards are blind and deaf right now," Benny says. Will looks up. "Which vault?" Will get in position. "Fifth from the top of the stairs to the right." Will and Maxim get moving. Will can see the guards spinning around. One of them has their rifle up and is waving it around. Hope he doesn't get trigger happy, Will thinks. Two others are still grabbing at their helmets. The helpful guard is standing exactly where he was before, slowly turning his head. Will looks right at him. His entire body is rigid. Will figures he doesn't know what to do, so is staying where he was in case others are moving around. Sound idea. The other three are not that disciplined, and the two from upstairs have collided and are now floundering about on the deck. Dodging one flailing guard, they get the crate set up under the door Zephyr has reported from. "We're in position." A few minutes later, they hear her. "Found it. Dren, the crate is locked." Will looks at Maxim. "Gonna have to take the whole thing. Can you carry it?" "Yes, coming to you," she says. "Drop it," Will calls back over comms. "Max will catch it." "I will," the large ex-peacekeeper says. "You have to at least slow it down," Will points at the crate and the sled. "Otherwise, it'll hit too hard and likely blow out the grav sled." Maxim groans and takes his place. "Okay, Zephyr, I'm ready." He can see the crate above, seemingly floating over the railing. It falls right at him. He grunts and sags below the weight of the crate as he catches it. Turning, he slides it. Not quietly, but that doesn't matter now, into the larger crate. "I'm coming down," Zephyr says before there's a thud on the grating. Will sees two of the guards spin in his direction, probably feeling Zephyr's landing through their boots. Knowing she's somewhere around him, he asks, "Will you fit in there? I think it'll be easier if we don't have to worry about you." The grav sled bobs a little, then settles. "It's tight, but I'm good. Close it up." Will watches Maxim shut the lid to the crate and seal it like it was never open. "Benny, you almost ready?" "Okay, I'm ready when you are. Everything will come back online together, so be ready," the hacker warns. He's either excited or nervous, his voice a bit higher pitched than normal. Will looks at Maxim, who nods and removes his goggles, and then jogs about 10 paces from the grav sled. "Do it." Immediately, the vault door slams shut. The lights come back on, the life support system is up and running, and all four guards are flailing, pulling their helmets off, shouting, even Helpful Guard, who had stood stock still until now. Will turns towards Helpful Guard, putting on his best frantic expression. "What the hell was that? What happened? Are we under some kind of attack?" he yells. Angry Guard interrupts him. "What do you mean? You did this!" The guard's rifle is pointed right at Will's face. Helpful Guard also has his rifle up. "The hell you talking about?" Will shouts back. "We didn't do Dren. We were about to enter my boss's vault and all hell breaks loose. How is this our fault?" He looks at Maxim, who just shrugs and looks all around. "You know what? You can Grolac yourself. We're out of here. Our boss can send another team. I don't care, but something ain't right here, and I'm not leaving this crate here to get stolen or vanished or whatever the hell just happened now. No, thank you. Not worth my life." Will motions to Maxim, who turns the grav sled back to the lift leading to the docking area. "Come on," he shouts mid-stride. "Wait a second." It's Helpful Guard. "I don't know if you should leave until we figure out what happened." Angry Guard seizes on this. "Exactly. You sit tight. No one leaves until we know what happened." He and Helpful walk over to the guard kiosk, where they're joined by their other two colleagues. They huddle over the computer terminals for a bit, arguing, but too low for Will to make out what they're saying. Probably afraid of a repeat incident, and none of them have put their helmets back on. Helpful Guard, who turns out to be a young Pelorian, Will guesses they all don't become peacekeepers, comes over. "You're free to go. We don't know what happened." He looks around. "And we're not telling anybody about it, since there's nothing to back us up on the computer. You do what you have to do with your boss, but there's nothing to back it up." "What do you mean you don't know?" Will is laying it on thick. "The lights went out. I think the life support system shut down, and there was a bunch of loud noises. He's waving his arms, which usually helps distract people. We don't know. There are no logs of anything at all happening, so as far as we're concerned, nothing happened. The guard's face is emotionless. Will sees he's a pro, maybe ex-peacekeeper. I'll escort you back to your ship. Will turns and motions for Maxim to follow. He knows the guard will feel better if they're escorted out, and knows too that if he's as freaked out as he's pretending to be, he'd welcome the escort. He nods to the guard and the trio walk to the lift. It takes less than 30 seconds to get to the docking station as they descend. Will hopes Benny isn't anywhere to be seen. When the doors open, Will and Maxim step out. Helpful guard follows, looking all around, scanning the room. Definitely a pro, Will thinks. Well, have a good journey back to wherever you came from. One last scan of the room and the guard steps back into the lift, but the doors don't close. He's waiting for them to enter the airlock corridor. Will and Maxim walk to the airlock corridor. Well, this was a mission for the books, he says aloud. No one's gonna believe this one. He slaps Maxim on the shoulder as they enter the corridor and turn the corner to the ghost airlock. Behind them, he hears the faint whisper of lift doors closing. He finally exhales.